Hello, everybody, and welcome back to High School Spotlight. As you know, my name is Michael Pelletieri, and I'm one of your hosts. Sadly, Sam couldn't do this one, as we thought. And today we have Joanna from MUN, representing MUN, and you're also our Stuco president now. So there's that. So first of all, who are you?
Hello,
At ISS.
my name is Joanna and I'm in 11th grade. This is my second year here. And I've lived in Stavanger my whole life and this would be my third school throughout my education.
Nice. And you're in the IB program?
Yes, I'm in the first year of the IB curriculum.
Mm-hmm. And then, so what classes are you taking, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm taking biology, psychology, global politics, English alongside math, and Norwegian 8, but they're all at different levels. I take 4 HLs and 2 SLs.
All right. That sounds like a lot of work, honestly. I plan on going into the IB, so that scares me. MUN, or Model United Nations, is what it stands for. What is it?
Well, as you said, it is Model United Nations. You're modeling the United Nations. So basically, essentially what you do is that you're role-playing as states and in certain times not state actors as well, where you're just discussing very critical and very pressing world issues. And an example of this is last week, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the conflict in Iran and how different states, you need to think from their point of view, how would they try to conflict resolve this kind of conflict.
Who likes to rant a lot. You might have seen her, Aubrey. And she started on a few words, but one of them that I mainly picked up is delegate, and that's the people in MUN, correct?
Yeah.
And so how would you describe your experience being a delegate?
So this is my 4th year with MUN. So I've had a couple of good years with MUN. So I remember my first kind of time in an MUN conference, you kind of do get stuck because it doesn't matter how much you know about it. You don't really know it until you experience it. So my first year, I was very nervous, for instance, when I came to SCANDMUN, I was the delegate of China in General Assembly. And that's also another thing that MUN has different assemblies, but there are different forums. But essentially, is you get so nervous, but once you actually get into the way of debating like a delegate, asking questions like a delegate, you kind of get into habit of this continuous progress that you make. So it is something that comes out of experience. It's not something you get 100% right on the first try. I don't think I'm even getting it 100% right even now. So it's something that you just keep working on to, be better at.
And then y'all just finished a big conference that y'all do every year, correct?
Yeah.
And it was SCANDMUN.
Yeah.
So you were a secretary?
Secretary General.
Secretary General. Okay. So I'm kind of glad I got that right. So you were a secretary, so what does that entail?
So typically in SCANDMUN, you have a Secretary General. That's the person who kind of thinks about themes for the conference, puts together a team. And this year I was lucky to have my Deputy Secretary General, shout out to Marisha. And we were a great team. We worked on forming chairs, and it really is a big responsibility because in the end, you are in charge of almost over 200 kids that are coming to the school and debating various topics. But it is a very nice experience, especially when the conference comes and you can see everything you plan come to live. So it was a lot of work, but it was definitely worth it.
And then, so planning SCANDMUN was kind of a big issue. Not issue, but big responsibility.
It was definitely a big responsibility, but I think our group this year was very good. We had the seniors, who many of them who are very talented and experienced. We had a lot of 10th graders also working on our side, and I think it's not a one-man's job. It's a group effort, and I think luckily to the group that we had this year that it went very smooth.
And for MUN, are there any skills that it's helped you with, such as maybe leadership or something like that?
Definitely. If you're a person that is kind of scared of talking in a big crowd or wants to work on your research abilities, and yet it's like a perfect place for you. You get to you don't always have to talk all the time. Even asking questions, already talking in debate. So asking questions and just talking, and kind of get over stage fear. And then researching, so going into more like when you're discussing these political issues, going into the root, asking yourself why, how, what. And then like you have to think from the standpoint of your country. So if you're China, you can't think the same way the delegate of the USA thinks. So you have these, viewpoints that are like very opposite based off policy. And then you also learn how to role play, like how to set your own values aside and follow the values of another country. So all these skills you really acquire from MUN, and it's a really good, like, if you want to have all these skills and you just want to get it from one place, MUN is the way to go.
Mm-hmm. And is there any advice you would have for people joining that want to join MUN next year?
I mean, first of all, don't be scared. Like, I know there's a lot of assumptions that you need to talk a lot, or, oh, all the seniors are going to be so scary. Like, don't think about that, because eventually you're going to be that senior as well. You're going to be so much more experienced than all the freshmen that are coming. But also just do it for the fun of it. Like, because the topics we do are so varied and nuanced. So you have, for instance, impact of social media, and then you have conflict of Israel and Palestine. Since the different topics are so different, you get to kind of build up on each kind of idea, and just make sure that you don't feel scared to talk. That's also another thing that I would add on to my first point. But yeah, it's a very good opportunity for you throughout high school. Also very great if you want to put something on your CV for college. It's a very credible thing to do in high school.
Yeah. And you actually answered what my next question was going to be already. And it was if there was any, not per se advice, but anything you would want to tell people in MUN or anybody who is going into MUN.
I mean, if you're planning on going into MUN, like I said, don't be scared and just have fun. Don't get too, obviously the first year you're going to be very nervous and stressed, thinking about what kind of questions you want to ask, what type of clauses you want to make. But, you have people who support you. You have a great MUN director, Mr. Ness, who is going to help you throughout every step of your journey. And then if you're already in MUN, just keep up the good work and make sure that you write your clauses authentically, especially in a world where AI is so driven. Make sure that you get your own ideas out.
Yeah. All right. I want to thank Joanna.
Thank you for having me.
For coming on here and talking about MUN. And hopefully that gave you guys some insight on what MUN is like and what to do if you want to go into MUN. So my name was Michael, and I thank you for coming on to High School Spotlight.